So tonight we have our spring expo. So our students have been working on their capstone projects for about 4 weeks. This is something where they got to pick a topic that they were curious about, explore it, do research on it, go out and do field work, talk to experts, etc., and then figure out how could they share their learning with a group of peers and public audience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Evolutions Capstone Expo Night 2023. We're opening up for tonight and we're your MCs Darren,
Kara, and Alex.
We are so excited to have you all here. We're even more excited to show you all what we have been working on since mid-February.
So it has been a long journey. Every Thursday around 1 o'clock, we worked for about an hour, and we each explored something that maybe we've worked on for a long time, or we've been interested in just recently, or a topic that we have never researched before, but we just wanted to learn more about it. So over a couple of weeks, we finally decided what we wanted to study and how to study it, and then we went through the design process. So we researched a lot of information. We planned, we created, we revised, we got feedback, and we worked super hard to have everything here to give to you today.
We began with independent research, which we used to create a vision board. We then created 3 total prototypes, which resulted in the final product you will see tonight. To help guide us in our learning and our product, we sought out the advice of an expert to inform our learning. Personally, I spoke with a children's book author and asked her about her experience and process of writing books for children. This helped me approach creating my book in the most organized and efficient way, using her tips of making a physical first draft and gathering initial feedback from peers.
At every station, there is a signage with a QR code, and it goes to the air table where you can find the product information. We have create-its, visual art pieces, models, paintings, build-its, there are publish-its, books created, magazines, infographics, and video essays for you to watch and enjoy. And finally, TED Talks, which will be presented live in intervals tonight. There are 5 of them. The schedule is in the front of the program that everyone has got. And the first TED Talk begins in 10 minutes, and it's Leah Weschler with slam poetry.
Okay, now you can go off and enjoy everyone's projects.
There's a lot of new stuff I added.
What's this page here?
So I added a turbo actually.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, that's not really supposed to be on bikes, but I did it anyway. So that's just to tell you like the oil pressure that's coming out of the engine.
Yeah. Did you compensate and add more fuel with the turbo?
No, because it's starting to puddle up inside.
Yeah.
It puddles when I idle, so I always have to kind of rev it. But
I love the color of the metal on it.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
So we powder coated everything that's gold. We powder coated and then just painted with oil and spray paint.
So my project is slam poetry, and basically what makes it different from regular poetry is that it's a performance poetry style, so it's typically performed live.
I try to succeed. I try to function. I try to try. Sometimes I can't take it. The world is too big, too much. Yet in school, no one notices. They think I'm fine, and I am. Am I? A constant battle between 2 versions of me.
My poems are about my anxiety and mental health struggles, and I think it's really important to not keep that quiet. I think it's important to share that to the world and help other people understand what it really is like to struggle with mental health.
That like Taiwan or places that don't have that much access to technology, it's still written in this format. So that's one reason. And then the second reason is it's basically which is basically the verbal ways that we assign direction. So in English that's like spring forward, fall back, and stuff like that. In Mandarin, apparently, up year literally means last year, like the law translation, or down month would literally translate to next month. So,
Do I need some more water? Mommy got you some more water? There we go. Get on the side.
I made a model of the SpaceX Starship rocket. I did it because I've kind of always been interested in interplanetary space travel, And so learning about it was kind of interesting because I got to see how humans in SpaceX plan to get people to Mars and back to the moon. So it was pretty interesting to learn about something that I've always been curious about. In this display, I talked about the missions specifically, like the lunar missions, how SpaceX has partnered with NASA to use this Starship model to get people back to the moon and to help create a moon base, which is as they're calling it. And then I talked a little bit about the Mars missions and how within the next decade, SpaceX wants to get people on Mars and then wants to set up a colony, hopefully by 2050 is their goal. So hopefully in my lifetime and in a bunch of my peers' lifetime, they'll get to see that. So I'm pretty interested in that. And then another interesting thing that I learned about was intra-Earth travel, which basically means that eventually humans will be able to use the Starship or other space companies, maybe not the Starship, but other space companies like Blue Origin are creating ways where we can use these rockets to fly out of Earth and then fly back in to get somewhere like Australia to London within an hour or 30 minutes. So it's pretty interesting.
It's the one with the sesame sauce. That's the rice, and that's when you spread the rice on the top. Yeah.
It's hard to train all dogs to train, so that's awesome. Hey, how you doing? Sure? All right, take a breath. You're straight across. Right.
So for my project, I wanted to create a 21st century modern house that is environmentally friendly. So I have 3 different features in my house: the solar panels, the green roof, and then a geothermal system underneath. So I also created a layout over here of what the inside of the house would look like. And I researched a lot on environmentally friendly features that would benefit the house the most. And I also had to research a lot on floor plans and the style of modern architecture, which was really interesting. So something I learned while working on this project was how geothermal systems work. They, here. If you look inside, you can see the little loops. These are called earth loops, and they're filled with water, which takes the ground temperature and goes into this system. And then there's an inside system in the house that, creates the air flow in the house, and it'll either create heating or cooling in your house. I talked to Professor Anand at WPI. I got to interview her. She's an architectural designer, and she works with environmental friendly. She wants to make her houses more environmentally friendly, and that's how she kind of designs it. I also got to sit in on an architectural class for a few hours, and I got to see other kids' presentations, and it was really inspiring, and it made me want to learn more about my own project and also for my future, because I would like to go into architectural design. So that's why I took this opportunity to create this model for Capstone.
You see those little, it's like a ladder.
Okay.
It's like if you have anything like that, you can plant it in a little planter
and then it'll grow up some?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want that.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to give this a try.
And this is really easy. This is more like for midsummer. You can plant it in.
Oh, so that's my problem too. I think I don't do it
right now.
I can do it right now. Okay. Yeah.
So when you start a project, you have to know how many loops you want to go with. Do you know what I mean? Like,
your
how many? How long ago?
Like what you first started with.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I only make like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Just because
It's too hard.
Yeah, when it's a lot, it's like this.
Yeah.
So I'm Alex, and for my project, I studied linguistic relativity, which is the theory that your perceptions and worldviews are altered by the language that you speak. So I studied this with Mandarin and Spanish, and I wanted to do this project because I feel like recently there have been a lot of ideas and assumptions about other languages and other cultures. So I wanted to inspire people to learn about those other languages and cultures before making those assumptions. So here I have my poster, I have my computer, which is sort of at the end of its simulation, and then I have a bowl of candy because I'm using this as a prop to sort of describe how different language speakers interpret color differently. So this would be for a Spanish speaker. So if I said today was here, then many Spanish speakers would say that yesterday is here, tomorrow is here, and time is moving this way. And then the same for the meals. They would say lunch is here, breakfast is here, dinner is here, and time is moving this way. And then for the last one, for times of day, they would say noon is here, morning is here, nighttime is here, and time is moving this way. So statistically, this same set of questions was asked to Mandarin speakers, and they said, or many of them said, that today is here, yesterday is here, tomorrow is here, and time is moving this way. And then the same for the meals. They said lunch is here, breakfast is here, dinner is here, and time is moving this way. And then finally, they said that noon is here, morning is here, nighttime is here, and time is moving this way. So this whole phenomenon happens for two different reasons, which is orthography and spatiotemporal metaphors. So orthography is the direction that a language has been historically written in. So English and Spanish, for example, have historically been written from left to right, and these rows move from up to down. And then Mandarin has actually historically been written in columns from up to down, and then these columns move from right to left across the page. And they recently changed it to be written in the same way that Spanish is written, moving from left to right, but in some more rural areas like Taiwan, or rural areas and Taiwan, they write in the same way. And then spatiotemporal metaphors are the ways that we verbally assign direction to time. So in English, an example of that is like spring forward and fall back. But in Mandarin, yesterday literally translates to up day, or next month literally translates to down month.
Oh, it's on like person. Yeah, it's actually, you can actually drift on this.
Yeah, no. It also might just turn you automatically.
Turn automatically?
None of it's straight, so it doesn't.
Yeah, just tighten that out.
No.
Why is it
No.
this one?
No.
Same. How was your notion?
I mean, my sophomore synthesis, I don't think did much, I would say. I mean, like I said, it was kind of just like here are all the problems, and here's my issue with them and my resentment, which, yeah, didn't actually, I think most people know that there are issues in the system and it's not entirely functional. Most people see that in their own kids, I would say.
For this project, we decided to create a webpage about the relationship between anxiety and insomnia. We wanted to do so because from our own experiences, we felt like we never found a webpage that had all the resources that we were looking for. And so we wanted to be the first to create a webpage where people could feel welcomed and find everything that they are looking for when it comes to anxiety and insomnia.
And not only is this webpage for teenagers, but it's also for parents and just loved ones who want to help their people that are struggling that they know of as well.
Yeah, so we interviewed Miss Gray, who's the school psychiatrist, and we got a lot of useful information from her because she works with teenagers who experience anxiety and insomnia. So we learned a lot about routines, and from her, she taught us all about how routines can be so beneficial to teenagers who are experiencing these struggles. And so we got a lot of insightful information from her, and she really helped us.
I would say the most important part that she talked to us about was just talking it out. A lot of teenagers just need to express how they're feeling to someone and they don't really expect someone to converse back. They just want to let it all out, and they don't really want those comments from their parents. They don't want those stress of what they might say. They just want to let it all out.
So this is our homepage right here. This is a design that we made with the lotus flower, which represents perseverance and overcoming. And we think with mental health struggles, that is something that needs to really be honored, is how much teenagers have to persevere through their challenging moments. And so through the webpage, this is just an encouraging guidance. There's a page on how to help yourself. And so these are 3 of the ways you can help yourself. This talks more about talking it out. And here are some conversation starters. This page is about therapy and how therapy is another useful tool of talking it out, and talks about how beneficial therapy can be.
And then another way that you can help with anxiety insomnia is by natural remedy. So for people that don't want to go on medication, this is the more easier, accessible natural remedy that you can use instead. One example is the valerian root, and it's a herbal root that interacts with your serotonin levels, and it can calm the nerves down to improve your sleep. And then one slide. Oh, yeah, and routines. Routines are definitely a really important part to a teenager who's experiencing anxiety insomnia, because if you put in your routine music and meditation, you're able to calm your nervous system down, which can then lead to a better sleep schedule, and exercising can help lift cortisone levels, and it can relieve stress, and then it can help you sleep. So there's a huge relationship between stress, anxiety, and insomnia.
And then for this page, we did tips for parents and how parents can help their teenagers. So I think something we really wanted to target was the fact that parents aren't quite understanding of the difference in time periods that there are now and the different pressures that we have as students today. And so even though parents are able to understand that kids can get stressed, we wanted to give this page, which has symptoms to look for, because we think that as a parent, your teenager could be quite standoffish and not wanting to talk about their problems. And then we have a different box about how listening can be super impactful. Finding resources for your teenager is crucial. And then also just appreciating your teen's struggles and acknowledging that they can have their struggles, and it's not always a struggle by choice. And sometimes you can't control your feelings and what you might be struggling with.
And then our last part of our website, which is our most favorable and most important, we feel, is Teen Voices. So we created a survey where a lot of teenagers, part of the Evolutions program, and just kids around the high school answered a bunch of questions. And our 2 most important ones were, can you share a personal story or a relationship that you have noticed between anxiety and sleeping issues? And then if they were comfortable, if not, we made it anonymous, but they were still aware of it. We added their personal stories onto the website so people who are reading these can understand that they're not struggling alone, and that many people have the same issues, and that everyone can overcome this at the end of the day. And yeah.
And then the last thing that we decided to include were our own personal stories and experiences with anxiety and insomnia. So I decided to write a little bit about my experience and my struggle. So if you look through there, that's just a little bit about me, and Stella wrote hers as well. Just a little bit of information about ourselves. Even though it was a lot of information to put out there, we really feel like it could benefit other people by sharing our stories.
We are the Power Tours, and I'm Sky, this is Lila. We did our project on how DIY culture has been empowering for women, and we restored this table right here. You can see these are photos. I'll give you a second. These are photos of the original table, which we got from the dump, and we stripped the paint off, sanded it, fixed some structural issues, primed it, repainted it. And throughout that entire process, we filmed, and using those videos, we created TikToks. And in those TikToks, we talk about how DIY culture has been empowering.
Our aim was to target women of our age to take on more projects at home. Over quarantine, it became a big trend for women to take projects on in their home. This was really helpful for women to feel more empowered about their capability and their ability to fix things in their house, especially because it's normally a man's job to do that kind of thing. But the time over COVID gave women time to learn how to do these tasks, so we wanted to teach women who are closer to our age similar tasks. So we uploaded these all on TikTok with the hopes of people seeing them and being inspired to do their own projects.
I think this project for us was a big departure from what we're used to, in that we were leaving like the academic sphere, and it's a place where we're both very comfortable. So it was kind of a decision for us, like, do we do a video essay and like get a good grade, or do we push ourselves to try something entirely new? And I am really glad we took this project on, because we ended up learning, first off, like physical skills, making the table that will hopefully be useful in the future. And also just the feeling of like pushing yourself to wing something, to do something even though you're not 100% sure you're going to get it right. And also learning that like other types of learning are just as meaningful and can be just as impactful as like a traditional academic project was all very rewarding for us.
I agree. I also think I learned a lot from the two women we interviewed. I didn't think I would enjoy that process as much. I'm usually not the kind of person to like cold email someone and ask them for their time to talk to me, but they were just such valuable resources for us, and they were lovely to talk to. They taught me so much about their experience in the field. For example, Ashley Brandfast, who is an influencer on Instagram, talked about how she started renovating stuff because her husband wouldn't do it when she asked him to. And it was more valuable for her to teach herself to do it. And she has so much success now that she sells all the stuff she makes, and that's her whole job. So we wanted to really appreciate her for that, because she did a lot for us also.
So we're just going to wrap it up real quick. Hello, everyone. My name is Peter Frost. You may remember me from my Alien movie at Midstone.
And I'm Gonzalo Patches, and we're juniors at the high school.
Unfortunately, the night is coming to a wrap, and we wanted to thank you all so much for coming out. We are glad that we were able to share this work that we've been working on since February.
We hope that you have all learned something new tonight, as well as gained a better understanding of what the Evolution program is about.
Evolutions gave us the freedom to explore our own interests and learn about topics we never would have explored in other classes. Whether designing a shoe or building a house, this program helped us to develop important skills like working both collaboratively and individually. At the beginning of the year, I was so used to being independent, I had no idea how to work in a group. Evolutions helped me grow from this weakness by finding my compass point and putting me with new people.
All of the projects will soon be available on the Evolutions website for you all to view. We want to thank every single one of you for coming out tonight. It means a lot. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you so much.
All right, now the fun one. Ready? 3, 2, 1,
Stay right here, Emma. Stay right here. Stay right here.
Right here. All right. Okay, Evo families. This is the part of the night that we say thank you so much. I know that Peter and Gonzalo said it, and not everyone was here, but thank you guys so much for making this night awesome. Thank you, Evo Gen 8, right, for showing up tonight and sharing your curiosity and passion. For you guys, Ms. Bartels is handing out the checkout sheet, so you need to, again, mindfully go grab your things and bring them to your coach. Families, you can either go, or we just need to kind of like stay to the side and let them do that work so we can pick up the night all set. All right, so it's going to be about 5 minutes for us to get this done.